right. Hey, welcome back to the Talking to Teen Show. And today we are going to talk about energy and not an energy drink or caffeine, even. And hey, raise your hand if you are a coffee junkie. Okay, not me. My hand does not go up. What about if you are an energy drink junkie? Now raise your hand if you are the chai tea latte. Woo! Right here. I love those. And thanks to my friend who had a coffee shop way back when, and she's the one, Miss Tanya, who had this coffee shop and told me, Shauna, you need to try something different than hot chocolate. I'm like, no, I don't. Okay. And so then she made me, okay, she didn't make me, she suggested, hey, try this chai tea latte. And I'm like, very hesitant because I'm super picky. And so she made it for me. I'm like, oh my golly, she's right. It was super yummy. But I'm still super picky on my chai latte. It has to be this powder mix. And not all the powder mixes are the same. So just wanted to throw that in there when I'm talking about energy, and that's not what I'm talking about. So now that I got that out of the way, I'm still going to talk about energy, okay? So the energy I'm talking about is like the person, the personality. I don't drink coffee, I don't drink a lot of caffeine. I just have energy because really I think a lot of it is because you know what? I actually really enjoy life. I like to laugh. Things are fun, and I want to make things fun. And this is real. This isn't like a fake energy where there's sometimes people who want to be with all this energy because they want the attention. And sometimes that is attracting because people just are attracted to maybe that. And the reason why I'm going to talk about energy today to you, super fantastic teens, is because I do see a lot of teens who almost want to suppress their energy. And it's almost where you feel like it's just better for me to be like nothing, no big deal. You just want to be, and I don't even say super chill. Okay. It's not even that kind of vibe. It's just like you're almost afraid to show some enthusiasm. Like, golly, already. It's okay to be excited about something. It's okay to have enthusiasm. All right. That's okay to do that. And just because you do, and maybe people then are looking and seeing you, and because it's attracting and it gets people hyped up too. So that's okay. And I think a lot of times, like I said, teenagers want to like suppress that. No. I don't want anyone looking at me. So we have like two different spectrums of this, I think, where you have the one person who really wants this so-called energy, and it's almost fake because they want the attention. They like everybody looking at them. They like everybody commenting and laughing. They want to be the life of the party. They want all eyes on them. And then you have the other person who does not want any attention, doesn't want any focus on themselves. Nobody talk to me. Nobody tell me that I did a good job. Don't even say that. Stop it. Stop talking. Stop trying to tell me that I was really good at that soccer game today. Where some teens are almost like offended by anyone giving them a compliment. That's probably going to be another show. But with energy, it's okay to have it. It's okay for you to be energetic. It's okay for you to have enthusiasm, but it's okay to have fun and good fun, okay? Not doing drugs and drinking and thinking that's fun, and now you're jumping in a fire or the lake without your clothes on and it's 30 below. Not that kind of energy and that kind of fun, because that's really just stupid, isn't it? Yeah, it is. I went ahead and answered that for you. So when I'm talking about energy, I'm talking about enthusiasm. I'm talking about just motivation even. And all that is okay to be motivated, or even this, that you are the one who motivates other people around you. And that's really a leader. So a lot of times I see this in sports. Whatever the sport is, someone has to be a leader on the team, don't they? And sometimes there's teenagers that are like, well, I'm not a leader and I don't want to do that. And I'm not going to be the person. Well, you're a leader just by being on the team, because there's always going to be someone watching you. We all lead someone somewhere. So you don't have to be in your mind, well, I'm not the leader in anything. I don't lead anybody. Yeah, you do. There's always somebody watching you. Whether you're being lazy and you're laying on your couch, you're not doing absolutely anything except for maybe just on your phone and playing video games all your life. And hey, there's still somebody watching you. And generally, there's still like a little person that wants to be like you. And I'm also not talking about the kind of energy that is like crystals, that type of stuff either. I'm not talking about that kind of energy and you feel the energy and go get some energy. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking again about actually personality, about self esteem, even, and motivation type energy. Because when you play sports, you got to have energy, don't you? Yeah. Even sitting on the bench, you still have to have energy to stay awake because sometimes it's very boring and lonely on the bench. But when you have the energy that's motivating your team and you're plugging into the team anyway, that's still energy. I've known people that have sat the bench throughout seasons of their high school years and rarely played, if even any, but because they were the one who motivated everybody on the team, and that still juvenated energy for the team. So I know you're thinking like, well, who wants to sit the bench? Hold on. It doesn't mean that person wanted to sit the bench, but they changed that into something that was going to be a positive influence. So you do know that people, when they look back and they're like, wow, I remember that person. And even though they were on the bench and they didn't get to play, and I still remember how positive they always were and how encouraging they always were to the rest of us, because sometimes you need those people who are going to be encouraging and you need those people who are going to be telling you good job and way to go. You need that in your life, and it's okay for you to be that to somebody else instead of you just thinking, well, everybody just needs to tell me that, but I don't want to tell anybody else that. See, and it can kind of fall into the lack of energy and the lack of verbal responses. It's okay to be the one saying it and the one receiving it. A lot of times that's actually just a low self-esteem on your part when you don't want to receive somebody telling you, hey, that was a really good job. Hey, great. I love the way you did this in that game, in that activity, in that choir concert, in that band performance, whatever it is, even in your homework, because you don't have to have an activity in order for you to have someone give you compliments. It can just be in your character of who you are, period. And not because you're doing all these other things. And that's just as important. Having energy is when you wake up with something to look forward to. Like maybe you're going to go on a vacation and you're so excited about that. So then you have a lot of energy in thinking about it. You're going to pack and now you're wondering what you're going to take, and it's kind of exciting. And you're getting your snacks and you're excited. That's what I'm talking about when you look forward to something. And that's the energy that I'm referring to, because see how you feel. And even me just talking about that, I'm sure you're thinking about something. How about maybe when you're going to get your driver's license, which sometimes some of you don't even want to have your driver's license, but it's an energy that you're excited about, like, oh yeah. And then you're constantly maybe asking your parents, okay, well, what day are we going to go get my license? When are we going to go do that? You have an excitement, you have energy, because now you're like, you don't shut up about it, do you? So your parents are like, oh my gosh, will you stop asking me? So maybe that's not the kind of energy your parents want you to have, but energy is something you look forward to. And it can be a mindset, because really when you don't have energy, you're very like your whole demeanor can sink down. Um, People kind of wonder what's going on, especially if you are a person that does tend to have energy. And then if something's bothering you, then it's way more noticeable. And when you do have energy, there's laughter and there's more curiosity when you have energy, because you actually kind of want to know things instead of just everything just being blah. Know anything in your life except for your phone, pretty much, really. And with energy, you tend to then what? Care. You care about things, you care about people, and you have more feelings. You can feel things compared to when there is no energy. And energy, again, is not about you being the loudest person in the room by any means, but it's about you showing up in your life and in the life even of others, that it's not just about you and it's a motivation. It's where an excitement starts to kick in and you're more socially alive with engaging with people and conversations and just even like your family. And I do understand you like teens need sleep. They need a lot of sleep sometimes. And sometimes the activities and the things that you're doing in your life can actually drain your energy. And when you feel drained, then you tend to feel empty because sometimes the things that you're doing in your life just sucks the life out of you. Sometimes it's people that can suck the life out of you. Because if you think about what am I doing right now? How are you feeling right now? Do you feel energetic? Do you feel blah? Because sometimes the things that you're doing, what you're implementing into your life, can just be an overload, like schoolwork. Because if you're thinking about what's something I could get rid of, and I know you're thinking, oh, yeah, schoolwork for sure. Maybe just not going to school. No, no, no. Those are not options. Okay. So if we think about some things that might drain your energy and might make you feel empty and you're not connecting. So, whether it's to your family, because truly you should be connected to your family. And I know not everybody has a really good family. And sometimes you think, well, my family sucks, Shauna. So, why do I want to be around my family? And sometimes they don't. And you still don't want to be around your family. And you are going and utilizing other things in your life because you're trying to connect somewhere else that maybe isn't such a good place for you to be connecting. But the overload for sure, and that can be just because you're doing so much. You have all the schoolwork to do, you have homework to do, you have parents to please, and you have yourself to please because sometimes you're just as hard as yourself and you overload yourself because you think, that's what you have to do. And even though you surround yourself with people, it doesn't mean that you don't feel alone and still unconnected to even the people that you are around. And when you don't feel seen or understood, then that definitely can drain your energy. And it just kind of makes you feel like, you know, nobody cares. And they don't even care what I think. They just want to be on their phone all the time too. And they're telling me about me being on my phone and there's no connection, there's no relationship. So then you're either off into your room or you're just sitting on the couch and everybody else is on the couch too. And everybody's just on their phones. Something else that can drain your energy is constant comparing. And you might instantly already know what I'm talking about. And that's generally just you scrolling through things or constantly looking through snaps and seeing everybody's life and how great it is. And you compare yourself to that. And truly, believe it or not, scrolling actually will steal energy. So if you think about that, how much time that you are on social media, and even though you might be thinking, well, you know what, I don't think that's true, Shauna, because I've seen some pretty funny videos and then I laugh. Laughter, isn't that what you said? Laughing can bring energy. Yes, it can. But it's the other part when you're constantly focused on social media, focused on your phone, focused on other people's life, that can definitely suck out your energy and bring depression. So, those studies that they are showing with that is very true and real. So, when you see other people's life, and you're comparing it to yourself, and then you're thinking, wow, I don't ever do all those fun things. My life is like boring compared to what they're doing. So then, of course, that makes you lose motivation. And hey, maybe, which I don't think this is true, but you can let me know that in a response here if this is true. Okay. If you really do think this is true or not, that you might find what I'm about to say in your own life. And that would be that as you're looking through and scrolling and seeing other people's lives, and instead of you thinking, oh man, you know what, wish my life was like that, but that it motivates you to do something different in your life that would be on a positive note. So I personally don't think so, but you know what, hey, I could be wrong. So you let me know if that is something. Or does constant comparison to others suck out your joy? Does it take out your confidence? And this doesn't just have to be scrolling, right? You can see this in school. You can see this wherever you are when there are other people. And it brings up jealousy in yourself. You start talking trash about other people. Oh my gosh, look how dumb she is. She's so stupid. And you notice I'm kind of referring this more to the girls because girls tend to be a lot more like this than guys. It doesn't mean that guys can't be, but girls way 10,000 times more than what a guy is because really secretly she wants to look like her. And because she doesn't and thinks she should, then she just talks trash about her. And yeah, that sucks out your energy because, it takes a lot of energy to sit there and talk trash about somebody all of the time. And then it just, produces and keeps in you a solid, negative, crappy attitude. And when you have an attitude like that, yeah, there is no energy. All right. Especially not in a healthy sense. You might have lots of energy to be rambling on and talking all these trashy things. And that's not good. And that's not a healthy way either. Another way energy can be sucked out of you is the pressure to be perfect. And there's a lot of teenagers that feel this way in school and they feel like, oh my gosh, you know what? I have to be the top. I have to be the best. And I can't not get straight A's. A lot of times you put that pressure on yourself. And yes, parents can put that pressure on you as well. So then you feel like, oh my gosh, I have to meet that standard. Also, that pressure can be with sports, right? You have to be the top person. Now, when I'm saying this and that pressure is so highly on you or you put it on yourself, whether it comes from your parents, friends, family, the neighbors, I don't know. But when you put this extra pressure on yourself, that actually sucks out the energy for you to lead the way that you should. So I hope that makes sense. If not, you know what? Hey, message me and definitely we can talk about that a little bit more to make sense. Okay. Another thing that can be pressure is friends. Can't it? Oh, yeah, definitely. And sometimes friends, which I have in another show, are they really your friend? Because sometimes it's just so called friends because we don't want to be alone in our fun high school days. So then we just become actually even a person that maybe later on when you look back, you're going to be like, holy smokes, I wish I would not have done those things because I was kind of not a nice person. I was, now I know why people talked about me and didn't want to be my friend. You know what? Go back and watch that movie, Mean Girls. Go to the one that wasn't the most recent. That's actually the best one. Okay. And maybe you'll see yourself in that movie. So another thing that can suck out energy from you when it comes to being with perfection and pressure, when I just talk about pressure to be perfect, pressure from school, pressure from parents, pressure from sports, pressure from friends, and even your family. And that list can go on and on and on. But I think sometimes so much of it can be just pressure that you put on yourself. And that is something that can definitely suck out the energy that is in your life because you're always thinking you have to be right up here and perfect for everything that you do. And no, you don't. But then you don't have any energy because you're really trying to be somebody that you can't even meet the standard for. And that drains actually your energy, doesn't it? You shouldn't have to be somebody that you're not and trying to be this fake person that you're trying to pretend when a lot of times most people can see already that the energy is fake, that it's not real, especially people that are around you a lot. They definitely know. That actually is what leads to burnout for you is because you're trying to just keep this facade, really, is what it is, up. And it's sucking the life out of you. Another thing that drains your energy is avoiding emotions. And I really personally think that a lot of times we as in parents, okay, adults, teach our young boys from early age into teenagers, don't act like a girl. Stop being a baby. Stop being a wuss. And other words in there too, where we kind of put that pressure on them. What are you crying for? Boys don't cry, men don't cry. Yeah, you know what they do, and it's okay for guys to cry. But yeah, not about everything, okay? Yes, have some emotions. Emotions are good. And it's not a bad thing to have emotions. But when you're emotional about every single thing, and yeah, everyone's trying to, like, oh my gosh, trying to fix those, crying emotions all the time. If it's like that, you might actually need some professional help, okay? If that's the degree that you are at. But it's okay to cry, guys. It's okay to have emotions. And when you are avoiding emotions, that actually builds up stress within yourself. It builds up the emotion, and then sometimes to the point to where then it's like, bam, you just like freak out because you aren't talking, you aren't communicating, you are just full of all this stress, and it just bottles up and bottles up and bottles up. And then it definitely sucks out and drains out your energy because you're so busy avoiding everything. Then your brain actually spends energy trying to hold it all in. And definitely that is exhausting. So, those of you that feel that way and that tend to do that, to where you hold emotions and you avoid the emotions, thinking that, well, you know what, I just don't even want to feel that. I don't want to go there. That actually drains out your energy very fast. So, if you do feel drained emotionally, spiritually, mentally, it doesn't mean that you're lazy. Sometimes, yeah, it can be. Okay. So don't get me wrong, because yeah, you can be lazy. Sometimes people are just lazy. You just have to know the difference between emotionally drained and burnt out, and you might just kind of need a break. You need to know the difference, because lazy is really when you're not doing anything ever, 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 ever. You barely take care of yourself because you're so lazy. So there is definitely a difference. So when you're going to refuel the energy that maybe you lost, or maybe you really haven't even had before. So I guess you can't refuel what you haven't even had. But if you're going to like gain energy, you gain it because you start allowing yourself to be okay to actually have energy. You almost have to give yourself permission. It's okay to be enthusiastic. It's okay to be happy and cheerful. It's okay for you to be those things. Give yourself permission. And if people don't like it, here's the thing: you shouldn't live your life to please others by any means. Yes, be respectful of others, but your life isn't to make everybody else happy with even yourself, okay? Totally be respectful, and do not disrespect your parents, all right? Do not disrespect people, period. It's not about pleasing people and being who they want you to be. Having energy and to refuel yourself and to even just get energy, that is actually a good thing to have in your life. Because as you go to work, as you start getting older, because you're not going to be a teenager forever, we grow up and we mature and then we become adults. So, yes, you definitely need energy in your life, and not just be drained all of the time. And sometimes, you know what, you might need to take some vitamins, okay? Think about what you are eating. What kinds of food are you putting in you, that maybe if you're just eating a pretty much sugar, 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 and more sugar in your diet, that can actually drain energy within yourself. So to refuel yourself, you need rest. If you're constantly going and you're in all these different sports and you have all this homework, and then you have schooling, and then you even work on top of that, and then you have your family and everybody wants some of your time, and you have a relationship, so now you have to maintain that person all the time because now they're maybe demanding of your time as well. So all of these things can, yes, drain the energy out from you. You feel like sometimes you don't even have time for yourself. So you absolutely have to rest. So when your parents tell you, you know what? No, you don't need to go to their house tonight. I think you need to stay home and rest. Most of the time, what is your reaction? What? Oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that. I'm going to go. No, you're not. You need to stay here and you need to rest. Because, hey, guess what? Sometimes your parents actually know what they're talking about when they're telling you those things because they see things that you don't see. They see how you're just running and running and running and going all over the place and doing all these things. You're so active and you're so busy that, hey, you know what? It's okay for you to stay home and rest. And sometimes you need to stay home and rest more than just 10 minutes, that you need to maybe not go to your boyfriend's house for that night or even a couple nights, or they not come to your house. Don't go and have all these people over. You have to maybe say no. So you absolutely have to have rest because your body needs rest. And if you read the Bible, guess what? Jesus even rested, didn't he? Hey, God did, didn't he? Oh my gosh, on the seventh day, what did he do? God rested. So when you see that in Genesis, that's what it tells you. So don't think that you are above that because you're not. So when I'm saying rest, also, that means that you're not just holding your phone and you're just laying now, well, I am resting. I didn't go anywhere and I didn't do anything. But then you just are with on your phone when you have to have some rest. That means that you're not on your social media. And because now my mom said I can't go anywhere and dad is making me stay home. And now you're mad about it. And so you're just going to be on your phone and social media and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling for 100 hours now. No, it means it's time to maybe put the phone down. I know you're like, what? Don't say that, Shauna. I hate when you say that stuff. When you know what? You know it's true, don't you? So when you're going to rest, yeah, you might need to stay home. You might not need to go out and do whatever it is that you're going to do. And now you need to put your phone down because that's going to give you even rest because sometimes you need that mental break just from things, period. And taking that mental break, sometimes it's just in quietness. It really is. I know a lot of people have a hard time sitting in silence and you feel like, holy crap, man, I was sitting in silence for a long time. And you look at the time, what? 2 minutes? That was the longest 2 minutes of my life. But sometimes you need to do that just because just kind of sit there and just sit there and just sit there and just sit there. All right. And you need to be okay with that and not put this pressure on yourself that you got to be doing all these things because it's okay to rest. And that is what rest is, that you aren't doing things. Rest and being lazy is completely two different things. Lazy is because, you know what? Oh my gosh, you have all this food in your bedroom and you have plates everywhere, dishes everywhere, clothes all over the place. Your bed sheets aren't even on and it's half made, half not. You don't even know if the sheets are even on the floor. And that is lazy because you aren't taking the dishes into the kitchen. That, hey, guess what? Even doing the dishes, that maybe you even helped make some dinner, that you did some of your laundry, that you folded some clothes. That is the non lazy part. And yeah, you can be busy doing sports, you can be busy with school and activities. But if you're so busy to the point to where everything is in shambles, then you definitely need to take some time out and that you don't have any energy, okay, when you come home to clean your room, to help make some dinner. You have no energy to do some laundry, fold some clothes, and just help around your own house. Resting is something we all need, and your brain needs to have that. And when you stay home, you just need to regroup. People don't need to come over. You don't need to go to anyone's house. You just need to have some time, have a moment for yourself. That is totally okay. Because here's the thing, so many times you are in all of these activities that you don't even know how to rest because all these years from maybe grade school, you have just constantly been in every single sport. You are in all these extra classes. You are with friends all of the time. That any amount of time that you have alone, now feeling alone and where you have time alone, that's not the same thing. But when you get so overly active and you don't know how to relax. You don't know how to rest. You get so like full of anxiety that you're like, oh my gosh, I just can't I can't just stay home. I can't be here. I have to go do something. you need to pay attention to that because you've trained yourself to then have really the energy sucked out of you. You've trained yourself just to keep pushing and going and going and going and going, that you've trained yourself that you don't know how to rest. You don't know how because you have just trained yourself with going and being so busy. Your mind needs to rest. Your body needs to rest. Maybe actually get a book that actually has pages in it and start flipping through that. You know what? Even this, read your Bible. If you don't have one, go to Walmart and buy one. Go on Amazon and buy one. But if you go to Walmart, it's going to be a lot quicker, isn't it? Because it's going to be like right there. Go to Hobby Lobby. They actually sell some. There's maybe some other stores. I think Sam's Club and Costco have Bibles that you can actually buy. Look through some of the pages. A good translation is the NLT. So that can help you with just relaxing because in the rest is what can rejuvenate your energy. So you have the energy then to get back out there and do life. It doesn't mean that you stop doing things. You definitely want to rest because rest is maintenance and we all need rest. So don't be afraid to do that. And remember, there's a difference between rest and being lazy. So another thing then is what you do is to reconnect with people who give you life. And a lot of that can just be your family. There could be some people within your family that you've separated yourself from or you've stopped hanging out with because you are so busy and actively going other places because you are trying to get away from your family because all you want to do is just be gone. And you just want to be over here and away from your family. When sometimes those people that you are running to and pouring your life into, those are actually people sometimes that are actually sucking the life out of you. So then when you come home, you have no energy because the things that you're doing, the people you are around, they are draining it out of you and they're just sucking the life out of you. So people that are just so highly demanding or that you even feel like you have to meet their standard, but that's who you want to hang out with because they're popular and you don't want to not have friends. Well, sometimes not having so-called friends is actually a good thing. And you just resting your little cute self is what you need. So then when you reconnect with people who give you life, who give you energy, who speak into your life, you might not want them to because you would be running around doing these other things. But pay attention to who those people are that are influencing you because you might need to reconnect with who is giving you a good influence as opposed to someone who is not. So lean into the people who actually make you feel safe. Lean into the people who, when I'm talking about fun, now it needs to be for real fun, not stupid things that you call fun. Because there's a difference, isn't there? And I'm sure you know the difference. What I see for teenagers is sometimes the energy just isn't there because you think that you shouldn't have it. It can be very subconscious to where you're not even realizing until maybe you are hearing this show to where you're like, what is she even talking about? That's no, Shauna, that's not true. That's not how I feel. But you know what? Pay attention to things. Pay attention to how you are in sports right now. Whatever the sport is that's going on, pay attention to how you are with your school work. And I know you're like, oh my gosh, I hate school. Stop talking about school. Well, you need an education. So pay attention to how you are with your job, with your family, with the things that are around you that you are in every single day. And what are those things doing? Have the start to where you are conscious of what your energy level is because you might not even be conscious of it. And when you are practicing for the team, what is your energy level? When you are playing the actual sport, when you're actually out there on the field, on the court, in the competition of whatever it is, what is your energy? Because you have to have energy, don't you? In order to, and I'm not going to say to be successful, you have to have energy, but yeah, you kind of do, don't you? You got to have some energy in your life, especially right now as a teenager, whatever it is that you're in, And even if you are not in an activity, you still need to have some sort of energy instead of this blah, somebody who's just constantly like, yeah, okay, whatever. Because even if I was doing the show, I got to tell you, there's no way you're going to listen to the Talking to Teen show if I'm like this. Hey, welcome to the Talking to Teen show, guys. I'm so glad that you're here today, and we're gonna have a really good time, and we're gonna talk about energy. And when you don't have any energy, you know that's not good. And I don't know if you hang out with people who don't have any energy. Um, I hope that that's not for you. Yeah, see, boring. Oh my golly, you're like, please shut up, Shauna, stop talking like that. I can't take it anymore. Oh man, yeah, exactly. So when you're doing things, see, you need some energy, don't you? You need to have your life kind of picked up in there. When it comes to sports, you have to have energy, don't you? uh, to where you're hyping up the team, you're hyping up yourself, giving high five. Like you see these different teams, they get announced and then they just go sit at the bench. What's going to be the difference in that game? Who's really going to win? Truly, the team that is hyped up, talking about it, encouraging each other, or the team that really doesn't have any communication, they don't talk to each other, and then, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed that they said my name. And then you just go and sit down at the bench, and then you just wait if you're going to get to play or not. And you just kind of sit there and then you just watch. You already know the team who's probably more than likely going to win. And that's the team that is with the energy. And someone needs to be the leader. People need to be leaders on the team. It's awesome. Yeah. If the whole team is with natural, like thought processing, is how can I make my team better? Because you do want to be a team player, and a team player is someone that definitely has energy that is for the team. You see people, maybe they're not doing as well, and that person drops the energy because maybe they didn't make that touchdown, or they didn't make the goal. They kicked it out of bounds. They missed the ball. They didn't hit the club right. Whatever it is, you didn't hit that note when you were singing that choir concert. And now you're just like, oh my gosh, that was so embarrassing. Everybody heard me. Yeah, they did. They did. But what are you going to do with that? Are you going to let the circumstance that happened, the moment that happened, are you going to let that drain and suck out the energy? Or are you going to rise above it and get energized and maybe laugh to yourself a little bit? Does that have to be out loud? But to yourself, and you're like, oh my gosh, that was so embarrassing. But I'm going to rise above that and get the energy back. And bam, I'm going to nail it this next time around. So that's where you actually need the energy, because see, you're in your own head, aren't you? What are you going to do with the play that you missed, the play that wasn't what you wanted it to be? What are you going to do in the next second? Because that was already old. That note you missed is already behind you because it happened. The thing that you didn't do that wasn't what you wanted, are you going to let the circumstance of what it wasn't, are you going to let that drain and suck out the energy, and then to where you're just deflated? Or are you going to rise above it and push through it? And because it's a decision, isn't it? This is what I'm going to do. I got to make a decision. So that's the energy that I'm talking about. Another thing for you to do is to do one thing that you care about. You don't need a massive life change. You just need to start. And this can be your start to get your energy back. When you care, then you start to feel. And when you feel things, that's when you start to come alive. And when you start caring, yes, for other people, not just yourself, okay? Because you can't just sit there and be in a selfish mode. And I'm not saying that you're selfish all the time, but I'm saying don't be I got to look out for number one. Yes, you need to take care of yourself. Yes, you need to rest. Yes, you need to take a break. And that's not selfish. But when you're just constantly thinking of yourself and you're not seeing the things around you that maybe you could help with, something with your family, with your parents, with your grandparents, with the neighbor that you see needs help, that actually builds and juvenates your energy. Because when you go outside of yourself and you help other people, that actually rejuvenates energy within you. You should feel pretty good about, wow, you know what? That was good that I went to help them shovel their snow, rake their leaves, taken some groceries because you have maybe a little more energy than somebody else and you're helping somebody else. That actually builds up within you also a good thing, and not to where everything has to just be focused on you, and more you. Okay. So try it and see. And then let me know. All right. Let me know. Hey, I tried this and helped out my neighbor. I did this and, someone that was at the store. And, you know what? I feel what? I feel lousy. I feel like a loser. I wish I wouldn't have done that. Hey, sometimes people don't appreciate it, but there's a lot of people that do. And even if they don't appreciate it, but still, you know what? Generally, it makes you feel like, wow, I'm really glad I did that. And not in the, oh man, I am just so awesome. Look at me. No, it's a whole different type of, I feel good about what I did. So that's what helps to juvenate and rejuvenate energy within yourself. So if you're finding yourself that you're so low on energy, maybe you need to go and help somebody, even just your own family. Help your dad, help your mom, help your sister, your brother. Go help your grandparents. Go help somebody. And sometimes they're going to say, no, I'm fine. Nope. And then you're like, well, they don't want me to help them. You know what? Do it. Just do stuff anyway. Let me get that for you anyway. I'm going to help you. You just do it, because most of the time people don't think you mean it. And that's why they say, no, it's okay. I got it. It's because they don't think that you really mean what you're saying. That's why if you're going to ask somebody, you just step in and you do it. And two, you know what? That's a pretty good leader right there. So here's something else you can do when I'm talking about getting your energy refueled. So you can talk to someone, definitely. So pretending that you're fine definitely drains more energy than being honest. And truly, yeah, people that lie a lot. So when we're talking about that type of, honesty as well, because then you have to constantly be thinking of what your lie was. So yeah, you don't want to be a liar. But what I'm really talking about is when you pretend to be fine, that drains your energy compared to you just saying how you feel. So when we're talking about the emotions, yeah, you definitely need to talk about it. And it's okay to have emotions. That's normal. Okay. There's nothing abnormal to have emotions. Emotions are good. So it's okay to have them. Talking definitely gives relief. Oh man, you feel so much better that you got to talk about that. You got to say that to someone, and having a connection. Those are good things. And then it helps to give you the perspective that you need. And sometimes it helps to clarify some things. And you do want to pay attention to who you are talking to, not just anybody who doesn't care. And a lot of times, like in a boyfriend girlfriend relationship, sometimes that's not who you need to talk to. Sometimes you actually need an adult to talk to, because some things that you might have, teenagers sometimes have, are really heavy. And you're putting that on someone else too, to where they can't handle that because they are not mentally, emotionally prepared themselves to handle what you're really feeling. So you do need to go to an adult that you can trust. And hopefully it's your parents. All right. So if you're having a hard time and you want to talk to your parents, sometimes sending them a message, a text message, whatever, and say, hey, can we talk? But I really need you to listen to me because I really have some things I want to say. And that might help your parents to kind of listen. That's going to be another show that I'm definitely going to help with when it comes to communicating and talking about things, because that's definitely something that most teens want, to have a good relationship with their parents. And sometimes teens have a hard time talking with their parent, but that's who you should be talking to. It doesn't mean you can't talk to someone else. And sometimes your parents will tell you to go talk to this other person. Hey, that's okay too. So how do you protect your energy, this motivation, this spunk, whatever it is you want to call it, once you get it back, or even once you get it? First of all, do not be ashamed to have it. That's probably first and foremost. It's okay to, like I said, I'm going to keep saying that. It's okay to be energetic. It's okay to be motivated. It's okay to motivate other people. That is okay. It totally is okay. Do not feel embarrassed. because you're thinking, oh, well, look, all those people look at me. So what? Who cares? Do it because you're going to feel a whole lot better. And the people that you are motivating, they're going to feel a lot better. Then you end up motivating a crowd. You end up motivating and energizing a group. And even if it is just one, that's okay too. So don't be embarrassed to do that. So you do want to set some boundaries though. And that is this, that you don't have to say yes to everything, because in order to keep this energy, this life within yourself, you set the boundaries by sometimes, you know what, you have to say no to things and to other people that are around you. And that's okay too. No, I can't go over tonight because you know what, I really need to get some sleep. You know, I have a lot of homework. I really need to just stay home. And even if you don't have a lot of things, you don't have a lot of homework, sometimes you just need to tell that person, no, you know what, I just really need to rest. It's not an offense toward you. I myself need to rest. I myself need to go to bed early and just rest myself. So I'm not going to be on social media. So that's what I'm doing, because you know, once you're not on that, everybody's like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? I just can't believe it. They said they were going to be resting, because rest to them is being on your phone. So you're going to have to be specific when you say that, especially if you have a girlfriend and you have a boyfriend. I'm going to stay home and rest, and I'm not going to be on my phone because I need to rest from things, from my phone, from everything, because I need to just rejuvenate my mind and my body. And when I'm talking about boundaries, you need to protect your time, okay? You need to protect your heart, and you need to protect your mental space. And those are ways that you do it, by having some boundaries and then sticking to these boundaries, because so many times we get the influence of other people, especially if you have a relationship, then, you know, of course, yeah, you know, it's normal that you want to spend time with them, but you do have to pay attention to how you're protecting your time and their time, because more than likely they have parents that they live with. So you need to be protecting their time and respecting their time, because you protect the time by respecting it. Okay. So that's how you do that. You don't need to be at their house till 11 midnight every single night. And even though you're like, well, it's not all the time, Shauna, you know, so stop exaggerating. Well, sometimes there are people that do that, or that you have to go over there every single day, every single night. They come to your house every single night. No, that doesn't have to happen, because sometimes you need a break from that. That's not your wife. That is not your husband. You have not said the marriage vows to say, I do, baby. No, you're a teenager. You need to live your life, and you need to get the rest that you need, so that you have the energy in your life to actually live some life. Okay. So, another thing to do is the stop over consuming. And that's just to where you are overloading your brain. Of course, that's with what? Scrolling through your phone. So, yeah, you need to put your phone down. That's part of the resting, isn't it? And stop the comparison, because that's where a lot of the noise comes in, the noise that you don't need. And that's not just girls, it can be guys as well, but guys don't tend to have it as deep as what girls do. So you need to maybe think about the things that you are consuming when it comes to your social media. I don't even need to name them because you already know what those are. But you need to think about what is it you're watching and consuming that's just filling this space, and start creating things more than you consume things. Okay. So that means that you really can start thinking for yourself. You start doing different things, other things to expand your thought processing, your brain, period. So live more than you watch. So I hope that makes sense. Live more life, all right, with the people around you, with your family, especially as a teenager. Your family should be one of the most important things in your life, your family. And again, I know not everybody has a great family, but you don't have to have a great family in order to spend time. And sometimes and I'm not trying to say that you're the problem. I'm not trying to say that, but sometimes you have to change your attitude, okay, in order to hang with your family. Sometimes they want to do things and you're like, no, I don't want to do that. No, basically rude, mean, disrespectful, but yet you want to go here and go everywhere and do all these other things, but just not with my family. Why does my family have to go? Hey, your parents, they love you. And your family should definitely be one of the most important things in your life. And however you're going to be spending that time, sometimes that's what needs to be more of the priority. Again, I'm not saying you can't have friends, that you can't have relationships. I'm not saying those things like that. Like, oh my gosh, she just wants me to be with my family all the time. Oh my gosh. No, I am absolutely not saying that. I'm saying live more life with the people that you actually care about and that care about you than with what you are watching on YouTube, on social media. That not be what you're just constantly putting all of your energy in. So then when you do have things to actually do with someone, with your family, you actually have some energy, because otherwise it just drains it out. It just kind of makes you numb to where you have no feelings, you have no nothing. Sometimes people will go and do that stuff because they need, like, their job is so stressful, the things in their life are so stressful. So then, yeah, you know what? Take a few minutes, 10 minutes. All right, set a timer. But I'm not talking 10 hours. You don't need to be scrolling for 10 hours because you had a stressful moment. You had some stress in your life. Seriously, 10 minutes. And I know you're like, 10 minutes? What? Yeah, you heard me. 10 minutes. Short, to the point, and end it. So that you're not just in a numb state, that you have no energy, that your life is just like, nothing. That you can't communicate with people who are actually talking to you face to face, that you just want to be looking elsewhere, like at your phone, because you don't have the energy and the motivation to lift your head up and actually have a conversation with somebody. So that's what I'm talking about, is to live more than what you watch. So another thing you want to do to help to maintain this level of energy now, or just energy period, okay, that you have in your life, is to choose people um, who are kind of the same, okay? So if someone drains you and stresses you out and tears you down and is constantly making fun of you, uh, that's who you need to step away from. You're like, nope, no, thank you. I am not going to be around that person and around those people. So you don't have to stay in that, whether it's a actual relationship that is your boyfriend, girlfriend. And I know sometimes you're like, well, you know what? That's actually my parents. Well, maybe you can have a conversation with them and say, hey, whether you write it out and just say, this is how I feel. And I don't want you to think that I'm trying to be disrespectful, but when you say these things to me, it makes me feel like I'm a loser. Or maybe you can say it to somebody else that can speak that to your parent. All right. Because sometimes, you know what, your parents, they don't know. They don't know that they're doing it, especially if you're not saying anything. Right. And that does, yeah, it will drain the energy out of you, and it will suck the life out of you when you have people, whether it's your parents, your friend, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, that stresses you out and tears you down. So you do need to maybe say something to them nicely, okay? Maybe you say it to an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent, somebody that is their really good friend that will say it to them on your behalf, all right? So you definitely need healthy friendships, which will then produce healthy relationships. And that does juvenate then healthy energy within yourself. You need to have something to look forward to, a goal that you have set. So maybe you're in a sporting activity right now. What is the goal that you have in that sporting event that you're participating in? The choir, the band, the music, the performance, the dance, the schoolwork, what you want to do next in your life with a job, a career, a place that you'd want to go. What is the goal? I want to save money, maybe for a car, or even looking forward to a project that you're doing. Maybe you really like science. Maybe you're part of the robotics team. So there's a big project there that you're looking forward to. Maybe there's an event that's going to be taking place, maybe a wedding. You have someone in your family is getting married and you're looking forward to going to their wedding. Or maybe there's a dream that you have within yourself Those are things that you look forward to, and don't shut those things out and don't shut them down, because it's okay to have goals in the things that you are doing and the things that you are participating in. And it's okay to be excited about them, even in the small things, to where maybe like you just wanted to clean your room. Maybe you wanted to actually put your clothes away, help your parents, that you wanted to have the house picked up before your mom came home from work, or your dad. Just little things. So don't miss out on opportunities like that you can plug into, that will help build an excitement and energy, a hope even within yourself. So don't shut those things out and don't shut those things down. So if you've felt numb, tired, or unmotivated, definitely know that you are not broken. You are not failing. You're not lazy for the most part. Okay, we already talked about what lazy is. You're just drained, and drained can be refueled. And you don't need to become a whole new person tomorrow. Just do one small thing today, okay, that brings life back into you. One spark can restart a fire that maybe you had inside of you, and then that you suppressed, that you put out because you thought, well, it was dumb and I don't need to do that. Do it. And if you want someone to talk to about it, hey, DM me, message me, find me. Because like I said, you're teenagers, you're going to find me. If you want to contact me, I know you will find me. So I do have something for you that is a little challenge. And some of you are like, oh, yeah, challenge accepted already. And I haven't even said anything. But here we go. So for the next 3 days, try the 333 energy challenge. All right. And that is 3, yes, 3 in a row, 3 good nights of sleep, 30 minutes a day with no screen. And I know you're like, what? Okay, I don't think I can do the challenge after all. Oh, yes, you can. It's 30 minutes. Oh, come on now. If you cannot do 30 minutes, then you need to maybe think about the addiction that you really do have. Just saying. So, 3 good nights of sleep, 30 minutes of no screen, and then 3 things that make you feel alive, make you feel rejuvenated, that make you feel energized. So, doing these 3 things could definitely change everything, okay? So, and definitely more than you think. So I just want you to try these things. 3 days that you're going to be doing this challenge. So I know you can do it. Let me know how it went. Let me know if you took this 333 energy challenge or not, okay? And how it went, because I really do want to know. I want to thank you for watching, for listening, and hey, I will see you in the next Talking to Teens show.